Hello. Oh, hi, everybody. Can you hear me? I see some thumbs up. Okay, good, good, good. Hi, everybody. I'm Sharon, and you might know me online from my name online is Mad Paper Crush. So if you haven't met me before, hello. I'm so excited to be here on the Junk Journal retreat. This has been so much fun. There's been so many cool things going on. I love it. So I do have to apologize right away. I've had a little bit of a cold, so I'm sucking on a cough drop right now because my throat's been a little bit dry, and I have my water that I might be grabbing every now and again just to make sure I'm not going to end up coughing all for the whole time. So okay, well, it's really good to see everybody here. And I thought I would just start with, because I didn't see any questions on the Facebook page or anything like that. So I thought I would just start with a little bit of an introduction and about myself and sort of, how I got to be where I am doing what I do. And then we can, talk about junk journals. We can talk about making journals. We can talk about digitals. We can talk about all kinds of fun things that you would like to talk about. So my name is Sharon, and I live in the eastern United States in Pennsylvania. And I, like a lot of the other artists that we've talked to this week, I've sort of been doing crafting and making things for just about as long as I can remember. So, and I've always loved paper. So I've always been interested in making things with my hands. I remember from when I was really young, I made a newspaper sit-upon to take out to a clubhouse that I had put on the ground. So like weaving the newspapers in and out so that it would be like, you could put it down on the ground and you wouldn't get wet. Like, I mean, those were the kinds of things that I was always doing as a kid. So so I've always been doing stuff. I've been into stained glass. I used to make jewelry. I still sometimes make jewelry. And then I found, after I had my daughter, which was in 2000, I found scrapbooking, which I think a lot of you have probably come from as well. And I did a lot of scrapbooking, and I just loved paper. I loved finding interesting patterns, putting things together, putting pages together in interesting ways and things like that. And then probably about, and I did that for many years. And then actually I started doing some digital scrapbooking. So I was actually working on, making my scrapbook pages online. And then I would just upload them to like a printing company like Snapfish or I'm trying to think Vistaprint, or I can't think of all the different names of them now, but they print books for you. So I would upload the pages that I had created online, and then I would have books sent back to me, and it was all just digital. So there was no texture or anything. It was all just a flat print, which I also enjoyed because I enjoy technology, which you might think is unusual, but I do. So I actually had a long career in IT before I was laid off in 2017. And I kind of been working full time doing, art since then. But I do love technology. So I love trying to figure things out on the computer. I love creating digitals and that kind of thing. Um, but about probably in 2018 or so, I think it was probably Nick the Booksmith that I had seen first, working on some journals and making these beautiful books that looked like art, and they were grungy and old but beautiful, and they had fabrics attached to the pages, and they had stitching threads all over the place, and they were just chunky and textural and all kinds of things, and I just loved them. And so I just dove in headfirst and was down the rabbit hole trying to learn about making them and doing those junk journals. And that's kind of where I am today. And that's why I call myself Mad Paper Crush, because I do have a mad paper crush. So that's where that came from. So I don't know if you have any questions. I don't know if anybody's taken the class that I had out today. Okay. So one of the things that I love putting in my journals is hidden spots for tucking in a secret little note, or, just being able to hide some piece of the ephemera away where you can find it later. I love being able to do that. So I created the hidden in plain sight tag here. And if you made it with me today, it looks, on the front, looks like a normal little tag. But when you open it up, it has some hidden pockets on the inside for you to put all kinds of goodies in. And there's even one on the front pocket as well for you to slide a little note card in there as well. So if you do the class, or if you haven't done the class, there is a free gift for you there. So I have all of the templates for actually making this exact one that you can grab for free if you go out there and do the class. So there's a little bonus, I think, button that you can click on. And then I have the whole template and everything. All you have to do is cut it out and put it all together. So it's really easy to do, but it's also pretty adaptable to be able to just make it yourself, with any paper that you have too. So I love being able to do that. And so I basically try to find just about anything I can put, hide something into. That's kind of my jam. So I like to take, if you're familiar with cabinet cards, I don't know if anybody's, let me see if I can find what I got here. So a cabinet card is basically an old picture, and I'm not sure where I put it, of course. I was going to try to have it out, but I didn't. But I took an old cabinet card and I created a hidden tuck spot in that. I don't know where it is. I'm sorry, I can't find it. But actually, I think I showed it in the beginning of the class. So if you look in the beginning of the class, I show you a couple of different hidden pocket type things that I've worked on. And I, put a hidden pocket in there. I like creating little flips in my journals so that you can, tuck things into a flip. Just having little places where you can, as you're going through your journal, you find these little fun little things that you can put in there. So that's what I love doing. Okay, I'm just going to look at the comments real quick, see if there was any questions. Oh, good. Wendy said she's working on the hidden pocket tag now. Great. Oh, and the dimensions. Yeah, I thought that would be nice, Jenna, to have the dimensions too, so that if you didn't want to use my theme that I have on my papers, you could very easily put it together yourself. So I'm glad you were able to do that. Let me just see if there's anything else here. All right. There's no questions, so I can talk about, what should we talk about next? Digitals? Okay. We can talk about digitals. I also create digitals, so I do love making things with my hands, but like I said, because I am kind of a techie sort of person, I love creating digitals as well. So I do that very often as well. So digitals, I have found that my style is sort of a grungy vintage style. I like to have something that looks old when you print it out, even though you're probably printing it on brand new paper. I like to make it look old and grungy. And I like to add a whole different variety of things to it. So I love old ephemera. So if you ever, go out to antique stores or thrift stores or vintage shops and things like that, a lot of times you can find really cool vintage ephemera. But I also know that a lot of times you can't find those things. I know that a lot of people in different areas have a hard time finding, authentic vintage ephemera to use for different things. And sometimes when you do find those vintage ephemera pieces, it's not something you want to glue down somewhere or sew or, something like that. So having digitals available, I think, is a really good option for people who don't have access to those kinds of things, or who want to keep their authentic, digitals so that they're not, using them and, destroying them. So that's kind of what I like to do. Now, I will just mention that if you're going to do the Artisan Pass, this is my contribution for the Artisan Pass. I have this, it's called Victorian Spring, and I've created, I think it's like 18 pages. So each page there's a, front page with some Victorian type graphics on there. And then they all have background pages as well. So you can sort of print front to back and, you know, do anything you want there. So I have like a candle there and some like opera glasses there. And this is kind of just a plain one, but you can see I've included some vintage ephemera on here too. So yeah, thanks, Susan. I love the color palette on this too. It's kind of like a sort of a light orange and a light green and beige. I don't know what the colors are, but I do love them too. I love that pocket watch and a bird cage on here. And like I said, there's just background pages so that if you're making a journal, you can put like, you know, pages in there with places to journal, to actually write down and things like that on there too. So here's another page. This has a key and a teacup there. I thought these were fun. And then I think this is the last main page. There's a sewing machine and a harp on there. And then more ephemera pieces. I like to just kind of digitally collage them all together and include things with handwriting and patterns and all kinds of stuff on there. And then I also have a whole page of these gorgeous stamps that you could cut out and use. I have some tags, some little fussy cut items down there at the bottom if you wanted to use them. And then I did also include some templates of some things. So this is a pocket down here, some labels, and then also this is like a little coin envelope. So you cut it out and then you can just fold on the lines and put it together like a little coin envelope there. And then let's see. And then the last, oh, I got two more. This is a library pocket. So you can fold it up and put this on the front there. And then this is a note card over here. And then the last thing is if you've been on any of the other lives with some of the other artists, we talked about ATC cards. And I actually had put together ATC cards for this kit. So there's 8 little ATC cards that you could either add on to or just, you know, cut out and use in your journal, even as, you know, these could go in a little tuck spot or something as you, whatever you would like to do. Yes, Jenna, I love them too. Thank you. Okay, let's see. All right, so what else do you want to talk about? Let's see. You're welcome, Susan. What else can we talk about digital? So I like to do my digitals in lots of different layers. I actually use Adobe Photoshop to make my digitals in. I do some scanning of ephemera to add into my my different digitals. I actually worked at an electric company several years ago, and they were getting rid of a lot of their old papers. And they said I could have a whole stack of different papers. So it was like there were time cards, and from some of the, you know, the guys who worked at the out at the, it was a dam actually that they worked at. And there were, you know, charts, and there were actually some old invoices and different things. So I've been really having fun with those. Yeah, like, you know, scanning them and putting them into digitals and things like that too. So a lot of times when I find stuff like that, I do scan it and add it into my my digitals as well. So I do enjoy doing that. So all right, so let's talk about what I do with my journals. How's that? Oh, can I show you some of my hidden pockets? Well, I was just looking for one and I couldn't find one. So let me see if I can find some of them. I will see if I can pull some more of them out for you. As I said, right now I was looking for some of the ones that I did and I didn't pull them out, and I don't want to take too long trying to find them here while we're talking, but I'll see what I can do. And if I don't find them while we're on the live here, I will add them to my Facebook page card. I'll add some pictures on there so you can see them if I don't find them while we're here talking. So journals. So I started out just making journals and making journals and making journals and making journals and not doing anything with my journals, which was fine. Oh, thank you, Monique. That's another one of my little signature things. I love big earrings. I always have to have big earrings on. But I was always just making journals, and I never really did too much with them at first because I just wanted to learn how to make them. And so I just made a whole lot of different kinds of journals. And while I really enjoyed that, Oh, Susan, I see your question there about the papers. I'll come right back to that. But I just wanted to say that I started doing what I started doing with my journals mostly was planning. So this is actually a journal I made, and I did make it as a ring bound journal so that I could open it all the way up. And these are some old book pages that I covered some chipboard with these old book pages. And they're actually, it's an old herbal book. So it's really neat. It has like, you know, things about different flowers and herbs and stuff on it, which it may be Latin or German or something. I can't read it, but it looks really neat. But what I like to do is I like to come in here and put my week in with different pages, and then I will, you know, keep track of what I'm doing throughout the month in here. So a lot of times in my junk journals, I, you know, make them into my planner. And these are a lot more plain. So my junk journal planners, they don't have a lot of pockets and tucks and things like that. They have a few, but not a whole lot, because most of the time what I'm doing is planning. So like, I mean, I included a little envelope in this, you know, ring bound planner here, but a lot of the pages are just plain pages for me to journal on. And so if you go to my YouTube channel, I have a couple of planner videos on how I set up my junk journal planner, since it's not a lot like other planners. So because I'm, you know, using my junk journal items, and every month and sometimes every week looks different. I've started creating some digitals for planners. So if you're interested in those, just let me know and I can talk to you about those. Okay, I wanted to go back to Susan's question about paper and what is my favorite papers to print my digitals on. And that's a really good question, because I print my digitals on different papers depending on what I'm doing. So for background journal pages, so for something that you're going to like make into your signature, to fold in half and put into your signature, I like to use a presentation weight paper, and I think it's a 32 or 38 pound paper. But it's also a bright white paper. And I think the brighter white paper you can print on, the better your colors will print out. So that's why I like to use that. Now, the excuse me, the presentation paper is definitely heavier than copy weight paper. And I like that because it's a little more sturdy. You can still, you know, punch holes in it, or, you know, tear it and make changes to it, but it holds up a lot nicer than just regular copy paper. Excuse me. And also, I think that it prints nicer because it's a brighter white paper. And then so that's how I print my signature pages. But then for ephemera, excuse me, for like if I'm printing tags and things like that, that I'm probably going to be backing with maybe some coffee dyed paper or something like that, I will print these on a cardstock, which is usually 110 pound paper. But also, if you're looking for cardstock, I would also look for the brightest white you can find. And I think that the way they tell you it's bright white is they give you a number. So like, I think these are 96, meaning these are, you know, bright white papers. So those are my favorites to print on. And occasionally I will print on old ledger paper when my printer wants to cooperate with me and will pull it through. I'll sometimes put an old ledger paper in there to print something, you know, a flower or something on a digital as well. I really enjoy doing that because I like the way that looks on there when I do that. Excuse me. Okay. Nicole says, beautiful, thank you. Vicki says, thank you for the bonus pages. You're welcome, Vicki. And Susan says, thank you. Sure, no problem. Okay. Nicole says, do you love your printer? If so, which one do you use? Yes and no. I have a love-hate relationship with my printer. I think probably we all do, unfortunately. But I have an older printer. It's a Canon. I think it's an MG 7720. I don't even know if you can get it anymore. It has, I think, 6 tanks that you put in for color. So it has, you know, yellow, cyan, magenta. I feel like there's another one I'm missing. And then there's like a pigment black and oh, it's gray and black. So it's got 6 tanks that you put in. Oh, yes. Thank you, Jenna. You have to, replace them obviously every so often. But I mean, I printed these on there and I love how they print it out. I think it does an excellent job of printing them out. Now, I think that part of that is the paper that I'm printing on as well. That helps with that. But it's not an echo tank. It doesn't have real big ink tanks or anything like that. But for what I use it for, I do like it. Sometimes it's picky when it's pulling in cardstock. So I have to sometimes, fluff the paper or kind of, dab it a little bit where the rollers hit it so that it'll actually pull in the paper. That's kind of my hate relationship that I have with my printer. But because it prints so well right now, I'm just, I'm going with it. I'm keeping it. So I'd love to know if you guys have any other suggestions for printers, because I have a feeling, I mean, I've had this printer for 3 or 4 years, so it's probably going to be on its way out soon. So, if anybody has a printer they love, I'd love to hear what they have. Excuse me. Oh, my throat's so dry. All right. Let's see, what else should we talk about? We could talk about some of the kinds of journals that I've done in the past. I love making journals out of just about anything. Favorite binding. Oh, let's go. Oh, Monique says she loves her Epson Echo Tank. Yeah, I've heard that they're great, Monique. I might have to give that one a try. Well, I don't know. We'll have to see. And since it saves on ink, that would definitely be a bonus. So yeah, I might have to give that one a try to see what I think of it. Susan asked, do you have a favorite binding method? And I mean, the one I do the most is the pamphlet stitch. So depending on how tall my journal is. So let's see. I don't know what this one is. I'm sure I've sewed this one. I either do a 3-hole or a 5-hole pamphlet stitch. So, excuse me, I'm going to have to get some more water. Those two are my go-to bindings. Excuse me for 1 second. Ooh, I'm so sorry. I have a cold and it's catching up with me. Ooh. Oh. I just put in another cough drop, so hopefully that will help. Oh, okay. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Monique. Woo. Okay. It's okay, Susan. I do love talking. It's just hard to do when I have a cold. Ah, whew. Okay. Michelle says she uses the HP Envy 6000. Hmm. I used to have an HP Envy, Michelle, but not anymore. Excuse me. I apologize. Okay. I think we're getting back. Okay. I don't know what we were talking about. We were talking about bindings. 3 to 5 hole pamphlet stitch. That's usually what I do. This one, this is a little flip-flop journal I've been working on. And I did, this is about 8 inches tall. And I did a 3-hole punch or a 3-hole pamphlet stitch on this one. Oh, I'm so sorry, friends. Ooh.
Do you need a few minutes, Sharon? You can take a few minutes. It's fine. We've all been hanging out in his room, for a while. So, it's not a problem.
Okay. Do you mind if I just maybe run upstairs and grab some something else, maybe some tea or
Certainly.
something?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Please.
I'm so sorry.
No,
I'll be right back.
sorry, you're fine. It's
Okay.
fine.
I'll be right back.
You guys have any general questions or anything, you can ask those now too, or get some questions ready for Sharon after. We'll let her just take your time. My brother and I both were talking about Mother's Day, and we were like, wait, when is it? We realized it was this weekend.
And I also did not.
Making journals and surprising my mom with a shadow box that has all her kids, grandkids, and great grandsons' name on it. Oh, cute. Is anybody gifting any journals? Any other journals?
I heard my mother-in-law say that like make a comment in passing that she doesn't know what to do with all the journals she gets. And I was like, well, I guess it's not going to be that.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, right? So funny.
My daughter keeps asking me what I want. Like, she's like, I can't clean the house this time. And I'm like, I don't know. That's all I ever want is a clean house and peace and quiet.
Somebody to make dinner
Right?
instead of you. How about that?
I don't do that.
You don't think that's a good idea?
No, I mean, I don't usually do the dinner right now. Like we
Oh, okay, I see.
can't really get in the kitchen either yet. It's really bad because we'll like try to cook, but there's so many boxes because it's 3 households of boxes. I'm trying to find the directions for the junk journal that you guys did in the retreat. I went in the scripture website, but couldn't find it. If you go to my website and just click on videos, it should be the very first video right up top. Let me double check. If not, give me a sec. Let me make sure. Yeah, you click on videos and it's the pink like box one that just says like no wait, sorry. There's like a big banner. It just says watch replay and it points to a video. It has like just a picture of myself and Christy on it. It's Christy and then me on there. And it says Junk Journal collaboration or Junk Journal project collaboration. It says watch replay and there's a big arrow pointing to the video. You'll just see like a bunch of people from Zoom on the video. Are you on your phone or are you on your computer? I ask for every special occasion for someone to clean my house for me. Haven't had any. My daughter did it once. And for her, it's a lot because her back, she's like she's only 4'11". She isn't gonna grow any bigger. She gets mad at that, but she has like back issues, I think, because of her size. And so she cleaned the whole house one time for me. And she got mad because my husband said to tell her it was from everybody. She's like, no. Cheryl, are you grabbing it from the, here, it should be on here. So that's the video. If you go to that page, it's a video that shows you like our replay. Let's see. Yeah, it should be on the very, very top left. Let me see if I can share.
I'm back. I hope I'm
Welcome
okay.
back.
You're good. Welcome
I'm
back.
Thank you. Thank you. I thank you so much for being so kind
Oh, no.
and struggling through it with me. I appreciate it. While I was yay, Jenna. While I was out, I also grabbed some of my hidden pockets. So I thought I did find them. They weren't where I thought they were, but I did find them. That's unfortunately how my craft room is. There's stuff everywhere. So I'm trying to make sure you only see a certain portion of it because it's crazy. So this is one of the ones I showed you on my video on the workshop that I did. This is a cabinet card that I was talking about. So an old photograph that usually has a photographer's name on the bottom, and it's usually like very thick cardstock material, almost chipboard. And sometimes this is what the back of them look like. And so I made this into a little hidden pocket there. So this is a little note card that just slips right into the side there. And I loved how that turned out. Turning something like vintage like this into a hidden pocket was fun. Excuse me. Okay, and then I also I've got these little, so I love making altered paper clips. So having paper clips that go into your journal that you can just slide onto. I'm going to just try and hold up a piece of paper here. I'm sure I'll do it this way. So this is a little paper clip that I made, and it just, goes onto a journal page just like that. But this also has a little hidden tag that pops out of the top there. So I thought those were kind of fun, little hidden, tiny little tag to have there. I made a bunch of different kinds of those. And then let's see, I have this little, this is also a paper clip. So this one also goes on, and it kind of looks like a little present or something there. But what you do is you untie it, and then this opens up into a little note card. where you could have a little hidden note in there if you wanted to. So it kind of folds up. And then I have this little tie that you can put a little bow around. So I thought that was fun too, because it doesn't right away look like a little hidden place, but it is. And then let's see. I have another tag that I did with hidden pockets. So once again, I wanted it to look just like a normal tag. But if you see, it has this little tuck down here, and the tag is actually tucked into it. So when you open it up, this one actually has a tri-fold, and there's a little pocket right in the middle there. And you could probably, there's another little tuck spot over here, and then it just tucks in. So this is actually a tri-fold tag, but it just looks like one single tag. So thank you, Monique. Okay, let's see. Then I also have another tag, and it looks like a regular tag. I have, you kind of see that it has this window in there. This one I made from time cards. You can kind of see the time card, and I covered it with napkin. But then it has a little note card that you can pull out of the side of it. So, and the picture on the note card is what's supposed to be going, you know, showing through the window there. So that's another tag. I have lots of tags with little hidden things on them. And then this is another little hidden spot. This one has lots of tucks and pockets in it. And this one was made from an envelope. And then I covered it with lots of cardstock and different papers and things like that. But this one has, you can see on the side here, it has this little circle, which is kind of like a little swing flap here. So when you swing that over, then this pops up. And then inside here, there's a pocket up here with a whole bunch of little things that you can pull out there. And then there's, excuse me, a side pocket right here where these are. And then there's even another one over here, which holds my little little flap there. So that one has a whole bunch of different tuck spots and pockets in it. And then actually the top as well is also a little pocket that holds a bigger tag in the back there. So this one's pretty complex. There's a lot going on there, but I have a tutorial on my YouTube channel for this one. This one was fun to do. And I think that's all I pulled out right now. That's all I could find right away. Yes, a treasure hunt, Laura. That's what I love doing in my journals, making it a little treasure hunt. Yes, the bells and whistles, Melissa. Yeah, me too. I love having those little things that are sort of surprises to find throughout my journal. So I love those as well. Okay. Nicole, I've watched lots of lives with you on different retreats. Do you travel to do in-person classes? Thanks for the question, Nicole. I haven't yet. I haven't yet, but I would love to do that. That would be really fun. So I actually am going to be looking to maybe do some of that in the future, because I do enjoy going different places. Okay, come to Texas, she says. I would love to come to Texas. Ooh. All right, I'll keep my eyes open, see what I can do. Thank you. That's so sweet. Okay. Any other questions? Oh, California. Yes, I would love to do that too, Monique. California. We can make a stop in Texas on the way, and then, you know, over to California, or maybe Nicole could join us in California. I would love to do some in-person retreats. I think it would be so much fun. I've met so many people online in this community, but very few I've met actually in person. So there are a couple. And actually, one of my friends from the Netherlands is going to be coming over in June, and I'm very excited to actually meet her in person. So I'm excited about that. So, and that's someone that I just met through junk journaling. So I'm very excited to meet her in person. I mean, I've met her, you know, we've talked online a lot, but yes, very neat. And Laura says, swing by Michigan. Okay, well, I'm going to be all over the country. I hope. All right, I'm going to pop another cough drop here so that I don't lose it again. Okay. Oh, Nicole says, I happen to find a book that is about 100 years old. It has some pressed flowers in it. Can you scan the book or the flowers, Nicole, or both? I would think so. You just might have to be careful in terms, well, you might have to do some editing afterwards. I don't know what kind of scanner you have, but if you can't lay it flat, you might get some light in there, around the edges. So you might have to, take it into a digital program to crop out some of, what you get that you don't want. But I would think that, as long as you're careful, you could definitely scan it without, having any problems. For sure. Yeah, sure, sure. No problem. Um, do you have any questions about making junk journals or? Oh yeah, you could get a hand scanner if you think that the pages are brittle. That's a great idea, Monique. I've never used one of those. I'm not sure, but I'm sure that would probably be, that might even be better than, just a flat scanner maybe. I love the traditional vintage look. Me too. But when you think about it, the 90s are vintage. Oh gosh, Susan, don't say that. I don't think the junk journals using that would look quite the same. You are definitely right. Although, when I talk to my daughter about stuff that was in the 90s, she has no clue. She thinks that that's ancient history. So, okay, Nicole says, oh wait, show us some journals. I love seeing how peeps use them. Okay, I will in just a minute, Monique. Okay, Nicole says, for sewing, do you need a different kind of needle in the machine? Probably someone who is a sewer would say yes. I don't use a different needle. I just use the needle that was in my sewing machine, and it has not turned me wrong. Now, if I was going to sew like maybe leather or faux leather or something thicker like that, I might use a different needle just so I don't break my needle. But for paper, I just use the needle that's in there. And if it breaks, I'm just going to throw another one in there. I mean, I'm not precious about my sewing machine. I'd much rather have the stitching than to worry about what it's doing to my sewing machine. My mother would probably kill me if she heard me saying that. And she might be hearing me say that right now. I think she might be on here. Don't tell her. I said, don't tell her. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Sewing. Do you hand make any other embellishments? I try to hand make almost all my embellishments for my journals just because I love doing that. Some of them I start with maybe some ephemera that has, that's vintage or something like that, but I always try to make all of my embellishments. So I'm just going to pull up this journal again that I was kind of showing you, this little flip-flop journal. I love like they're little note cards, and this is actually recycled Amazon packaging on the back. So it's, I don't like to throw things away. I've heard other people say that they don't really like to throw things away. Neither do I. So that's what some of this is. But I do try to make most of the ephemera that goes in to my journals. Although I will, also put in some ephemera that's just plain. So like, I mean, I have an old ledger page here that it's just absolutely gorgeous on its own. It probably doesn't need any embellishment, but I love to put them in for signatures. Trying to see what else I have in here. I use some digitals and some stamping and labels. I love using for my ephemera in my journals. So I'm all over the place, but I do like to try to make a lot of my embellishments and ephemera that I put in my journals. Back in the in the 1900s. Yep. Use the one that came with it for the denim needle. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, depending on what I'm doing, I might change the needle out in my sewing machine, but most of the time, no, I leave it as it is. Okay. Karen says, I just had a look at your YouTube channel. So much goodness to dive into. Oh, thank you so much, Karen. I appreciate that very much. Thanks, Monique, for putting that up there. Okay. Oh, that was my mom. I heard every word and I still love you. Okay, good thing. We're safe. Okay. I've been looking for other ways to use those. To use what, Christy? I'm sorry. I think I went past what you were talking about.
Amazon packages.
Oh, yes, yes, I know. Actually, the base of this entire journal is an Amazon package.
So
So I
let
don't
me
think
ask
that
a
you can see it.
question.
Yeah, sure.
How do you get it so it's not crinkly sounding? Or do you care?
I don't normally care if I'm going to use it. I don't care, but what I will do, I don't think I have one right here. I think, was that Monique that just held one up? What I will do, yep, I will tear it apart so that it's only one layer of the envelope, and that cuts down a little bit on it. But because, yep, just like that.
Okay.
But if you take it apart even more, there is, little styrofoam in between.
Yes.
That does make it a little bit crinkly. So I don't tear that apart just because it starts to pill out, it starts to the picks start to come out. So I usually, if I'm using it, I'll just tear it in half, just like Monique just did, and kind of keep it there. I also sew all the edges to kind of hold any of that stuff in. So
Okay.
we can't really, here, this one's not quite as finished yet. Let me see if I can show you. But yeah, I'll sew all around the edges of that
Okay.
packaging so that it keeps everything in, so that it doesn't fall
so
out.
you utilize the bulk.
I do.
Okay. All right, cool.
And I'll say, I mean, for this, I even, lined the entire thing with more digitals and, pockets and things like that. And it's very sturdy now, meaning I don't feel any crunch or, it kind of changes the whole texture of it once you start layering stuff on top of it.
Gotcha.
So
That's so
that
great.
really works.
Thank you
Yeah,
for
I love
sharing
being
that.
able to use those. Sure, sure. I love being able to use them. Okay. Susan says hi to my mom. Okay, and so I'm going to go back now. Monique was asking about showing me some of the journals. So we looked a little bit at this flip-flop journal. If you haven't seen a flip-flop journal, it's just basically that. So it just kind of flips and flops, and you have signatures all over the place. So normally they have like a small little front flip, and then there's a signature in here with all kinds of fun pages. And then it has sections. So then you kind of open this, and you have more pages in here. And then when you get to the end, to the back of the book, you can open it from the back of the book. And then there's other signatures back here. So that's what kind of makes it a flip-flop journal, because now we're working on the back signatures. They're in the back of the book. So, you don't really see it when you're looking at it from the front, but there's signatures on both the front and the back side of this journal. So those are really fun. And I haven't done anything with this one yet. I'm kind of work in progress now, Monique. I don't know that I will do anything with this one yet. Just because I'm loving the way it's coming together. I don't know if I'm going to want to use it or just going to want to flip through it. I don't know. I'm actually going to be doing a YouTube video on how to make one of those flip-flop journals with the Amazon packaging. So that should be coming out in the next week or two. So, so if you're subscribed, you should see that. And then this little journal, I actually made during COVID. So when we were all, told to stay in our houses and, couldn't go anywhere, couldn't do anything. The only thing that we could do was go out and buy wine. And so I actually work at a winery, and this is a wine bag. So you can kind of see the cover here is a wine bag. So I took the wine bags that I used to keep myself sane during COVID, and I made a wine bag journal. And these are really fun the way they turned out too. I had a good time making these. So and they had, with the flap on the bottom, there's a little pocket there, and there's a little pocket. You can see this kind of shows you the bag part. There's a pocket here at the top there. That's, yeah. So that was my COVID journal. Who said, oh, Wendy, I drank a lot of wine during COVID and haven't stopped off. Yeah, me neither, Wendy. Okay, and then I made this. It's kind of like a flip-flop journal, but it's actually called a do-si-do journal. So it's, it's just two journals in one. So, and it's kind of mini here. So you can see, you open it up and there's a signature here, but then when you turn it over, there's another journal on the back. And actually this one, instead of putting another signature in, I don't know if you can see it, but I wanted to make this more of an interactive kind of folio type journal. So like I added some flips. There's an envelope here where you can put stuff in. There's a little tuck spot right there. There's a little kind of belly band tuck here. So, and then there's a little top tuck spot here. So, that's the Do-Si-Do journal that I did too. I really like that, how that was fun too. Let's see. These are some of the first journals I did. And I did it with, actually with Nick the Booksmith. And some of her classes where I learned how to do some of this type of journaling. So this is actually on fiberboard that you get at the like at Home Depot or something like that. And then covered, with scrapbook paper and things like that. And then she has it, a specific way that she does her signatures and things like that. So, I mean, it was a great learning experience. I don't make a lot of journals exactly like this anymore, just, because as you continue making things, you sort of develop your own style and different things like that. So, but this was a fun little tassel I did too. I like having a little tassel on the end of my journal. All right. And then this one is also a Amazon packaging journal. Let's see. Karen says she's heading off because it's almost midnight. Thank you so much for stopping in, Karen. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. I hope to get well soon too. Yes, I love Nick the Booksmith stuff. So yes, Lisa, there is a YouTube tutorial on how to make the Do-Si-Do journal on my YouTube channel. I did that one as a tutorial. Okay. You want to grab your sewing machine right now? I can't stop sewing on my things, Monique. I have to sew everything. I don't know. It's just a thing with me. Okay, so this was Junk Journal July last year. And I just did a quick journal so that I could do Junk Journal July. This one I did actually do, this looks like a three whole pamphlet stitch is how I stitched it in the middle. This is actually one of the prompts that I did. And of course, wait, let's see, this was July 20th. So that was letter to myself. And I think I did, I wrote the letter to myself underneath all the red. So I wanted it hidden and covered up. So that was the letter to myself. So in some of my journals, I do some art journaling in my junk journals. I'm not a big writing journaler, so I would rather, stamp things and glue things in and make collage and that kind of stuff. So that's definitely when I'm using my journals, that's the kind of thing that I like to do. Find stuff this is from an old magazine that I fussy cut out of there. And that's fun. Let's see. So, this is a fun little journal page, and it has, of course, little hidden tags in pockets there. So these are little tags. So I'm always trying to find places where I can hide things in there. Let's see. So yeah, so that was my Junk Journal July journal. But I do love the way this journal turned out. And it's actually, I don't even think I tore this one in half like we were looking at. I think it's just that Amazon package. And then I just added all sorts of papers, and then I just kind of crazy stitched all over it to hold everything down and in place. And then I put some rusty fabrics on and some labels and things like that. So I love the way that one turned out. All right. Lisa said she loves sewing. I do too. All right. Do we have any more questions? Trying to think what else I wanted to tell you about or talk about.
I would like to know, when you make your digitals, do you start with someone else's art and then you put it together? Is that how you do it?
Okay, so I do it a lot of different ways. So I do, most of the time, the backgrounds are all my own thing, because what I'll do is I'll pick and choose different pieces of ephemera. I like to have sort of that collaged background. And then if I add graphics, sometimes because I don't digitally draw, I will use graphics from some other people. So like I have a membership to the Graphics Fairy, and I can use her graphics, some of her graphics commercially. Now I will also, if I find neat graphics digitally that are, you know, or I will scan something that I have and then extract it and use that as a graphic as well. So it's kind of a lot of different things. I have also started dabbling into using AI generated art. So I know it may be kind of controversial. I don't know, you know, what people think about that or whatever, but it's been fun to play around with it, since I'm not, you know, I can't draw per se, you know. It's nice to be able to think something up in my mind and, you know, come up with that picture. So like, for example, let's see if I can find her. So like these girls in my flip-flop journal, which of course now I can't find any of them. Where are they at? That's an AI generated picture.
Wow, the fingers look good.
They're
Right?
getting better. They're getting better. They don't, you're right. They don't always look good. And they
No.
didn't in the beginning. I
Have been
know.
getting better.
Yeah. Sometimes I would have to
So
cut them
funny.
off, but
Yes.
but these they're definitely getting better. But like even this, the picture itself, you know, I added like a layer of grunge to the top of it, and I added the frame around the outside of it. So even when I do AI generated things, I always try to change it to make it more mine, you know, so that it's not just something that's coming out of the computer. But that, you know, it just depends on what theme I'm going for or whatever, and that's what depends on what I'm doing. So I mean, I've noticed that even some of the graphics libraries where you can have a subscription to, I've noticed some of them have started using what you can tell is probably AI generated art as well. So, you know, it's out there, I guess.
I use it. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Susan says, what's the one tool you can't live without? Oh, which one do you not like to use? Oh, that's a good question. Let's see. One of my favorite tools, which is, it's a silly little tool, but I love it, is my pokey tool. So it's not an awl, it's just like a paper piercer kind of thing. I love that because it makes it so much easier to, you know, get holes into the papers before you're trying to sew them. Let's see, what else? I don't know. I don't, I'm trying to think what tools I use a lot. I don't know, my ruler. I use my ruler a lot for tearing things and that kind of stuff. My cutter, maybe. That might be a good one. I use my paper cutter all the time, you know, for trimming everything. I go through blades like crazy. Probably I spend more on blades than I do on ink for my printer. Okay, and then which one do you not like to use? That's another good question. I don't know if I have one that I don't like to use. I mean, everything that I have out, I probably use. I'm trying to think if there was something maybe that I had started to use and then don't anymore. I can't think of something. I can't think of something I don't like to use. See, Susan says, I have a pokey tool too, but it seems to always grab the pin out of my glue bottle since that's usually closer. Wow, that's, yeah. And I actually lost the pin that I used to have in mine, so I have to have that pokey tool. So Yeah, I can't think of one that I don't like using. I don't know. That's a good question. I'll have to think about that. I also have a little, I don't know if you all have these, but like I have a little ephemera holder journal. So this is like, this, this holds all of my like fussy cut things, my tickets, you know, things that I've labels that I've cut out or, you know, I have so that I can just kind of come in here and pull out whatever I'm interested in, you know, putting in my journal. I have all kinds of different, you know, pieces of paper, tickets, fussy cut botanicals, my little, what do you call these things? These paper hole protectors, hole protectors, is that what you call them?
And
Something like that.
you just sewed the pages?
Pardon me?
You just sewed like plastic pages? I see sewing.
Oh, yes. Yes. I'm sorry. Yes. So I took just like, page protectors like you would use for a full sheet. And I cut them down to the size that I wanted and I sewed them onto the paper so that they would stay. Because I saw some people try to do it with glue and it didn't hold very well with this plastic. And I like using the plastic because you can obviously see, you know, everything that's in there. That makes it a little easier to find, you know, things that you're looking for. So yeah, I love this book. I've used it so much it's actually starting to tear. Actually, I just think I have too much in it. Probably I need to clean it out, I think. But this is really great to have close by so that you can, you know, grab something to put into your journal. And then what's the other thing? Oh, I wanted to show you this too. So this journal is another journal that I use a lot. This is actually my, I mean, it's very plain. You can see I have a bunch of signatures in here, but this is my idea book. So if I create something or I do something or I try something, I try to put it in my idea book so that I can go back to this and flip through it and see if there's something, oh, I think I want to try that again or something like that. So let's see. So a lot of this is not, it's not real pretty. It's just sort of the, you know, the paper I use to try something or do something on. Let's see if I can find something. So yeah, I'll show you this thing. So I have paper clipped to one of, this is like a little template that I was trying to do. Like I wanted to do one of those figure 8 clasps. And then, you know, I have like my notes about what I wanted to do with this, you know, piece in here. So those are the kinds of things that I keep in my idea journal so that if I'm, you know, thinking, well, I don't know what I want to do, or I don't have any ideas, I have plenty of ideas in my idea journal that I can go to. And I try to keep it, you know, I try to keep it kind of nice, but it's, you know, really just a place to keep ideas. So they're not always pretty in here. But the other thing I wanted to show you about this book is that I have 3 signatures. The gold signatures are sewn in. And then these 2 signatures are actually elastic signatures. So I could pull that out if I wanted to do something that I can't, like if I wanted to sew something onto a page, I could pull that signature out and sew it on. So that's always fun, I think, to have some elastic signatures in your book. So I'll pull one out. You can kind of see here. Okay, so this is the signature I just pulled out. And there's just a bunch of pages in there and they're not sewn together or anything. I mean, I can take them all. They're just all, you know, loose, I guess. But then when you look at the book, this is the signature. This is the elastic that I just pulled out of that signature. So I don't know if I can do this up here, but I'll try. Hold on. Cheer me on here. Oh, no. I go like this. And then I go like, hold on. I can do this. I know I can do it. Okay. And then I put these in here like that. Like that. Then I can put it back together. Yay! I know I'm very talented. I am very talented. But anyway, so this is a really nice book to have. If you don't have one, I definitely recommend, you know, putting something together so that you can put your ideas in. Bye, Laura. Thanks so much for stopping in. I look forward to binge watching your YouTube channel. Thanks so much, Laura. So anyway, so that's my idea book, and I love having that nearby too. So that's kind of right over there. Let's see. Do I have any other journals? I have some more kind of art journals that I've started putting together. Oh, this is a fun journal. So we were talking about bindings before. Oh, and I think my time's almost up. But we were talking about bindings before. This was just an old Reader's Digest book. And this is actually a tab binding book. So you can see the tabs, 1, 2, 3, see them in the middle. So this is actually not sewn at all. It's just pieces of tape that hold each piece together. So this was really fun to do. And I like it because it totally lays flat. Like it's really a nice lay flat binding. You just have to be careful that, like when I did it, some of the tape I put on real tight. And so when you turn the pages, sometimes it pulls. So you have to be careful, and you have to be careful with what pages you use, that you're not using like an old book page that might tear. But that's a really fun binding to do. And I love that it sort of adds, something to a blank page already. It's right there. You can kind of see it. So that's fun. And then I just did, this is an old denim binding. So like an old pair of jeans, I think, that I tore up and used for the binding there. So that's a fun journal too. All right, let's see. Yeah, the tab binding, Susan, is fun. It is, it comes together very fast. Like as soon as you learn how to do it, it's very easy. It's easy to do it. Oh, tab binding for greeting cards. That would be really cool too. That would be very neat to do. Okay. All right. Thanks, Christy. I'm fine. I mean, I did have to leave for a couple minutes, So, okay. Any other questions? This was so much fun.
We are so glad that you came and did this. We are learning.
I
so
know.
much.
I'm so glad that you invited me. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Yes, this has been such a fun time with all of you guys. Because you're
It
such
has.
artists.
Or you got my head swirling of all the projects now.
I know. Same.
Oh,
Same.
good.
I mean, you guys really, this thing has opened up like so many like ideas for me. Well, I'm inspired by everything, but I don't know. So inspirational. I'm like, oh my
well,
God.
I was going to say, it's so great to see everybody's ideas, just because you get so many ideas when you see other people and the things that they're doing. So it is very inspiring. It's nice to have everybody together to do that. So
Yeah.
good.
Here's a suggestion for all of us. We can start our idea books now, like as we're going through these classes and stuff.
Yeah. That's a great idea,
Yeah,
Christy.
tuck
That's
in
a
your
great idea.
notes and everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I know I want to do stuff more than once, for sure.
The junk journals we made, we can use those.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Oh my gosh. We
Yeah.
talked about that.
That's true. You could use that junk journal for an idea book.
Fantastic.
I love it.
Love it.
Love it. Love it.
Well, we hope.
Thanks so much to everybody joining. I know some of you might have to go since it's might be late where you are. So thank you so much for joining me and putting up with my coughing.
I don't know. My husband's hacking a lung out every day, so you're.
Oh no!
Like, I didn't even hear you.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. I did try to mute it so you didn't have to hear it, but. Aw, thank you so much, Nicole. I appreciate that. That's very sweet. How do I do a tab binding to the cover? Yeah, I did a tab binding on this cover, and since I used a book, who asked that question? Lisa. Since I used a hardcover book for that, I just used some very sturdy tape to do the last binding on the cover. So I also put in on my covers, like I always have to add, pockets and things like that on my covers. And so I actually did the tab underneath the layer of pockets on the covers to hold it to the cover. So it is a little loose. You can see it's a little loose. That's kind of how the tab binding works, but it's definitely, it holds together. So yes, you could use washi tape. You could, and you could also use fabric washi tape. That would also probably hold it very well too. So I don't know if you've ever seen fabric washi tape, but it's Tim Holtz has some out. It's in rolls like this, and it's fabric, but it's got a very strong, you know, sticky back, and that's really good to use for something you need something to really hold on. So that might work too.
Nice. That's a cool product.
Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you, Wendy. Aw, thank you.
All right.
All
Well,
right.
everybody go over to Sharon's channel, her YouTube channel. You can post that again.
Sure. I was
As
gonna
I
say
know
I
that
can.
people are just gonna wanna, they're gonna wanna continue because we're all done for the day pretty much. So I'm.
Okay,
guessing that people
I'll
are
go
gonna
ahead
wanna
and
have
throw
a
it in
place to
there.
go. Thanks, Monique. Monique did it.
Oh, Monique Dinick. Okay, great. Thank you,
We're
Monique.
gonna crash it. Funny. All right, well, I guess we can let everyone go, although, you know, we just leave the room open if people want to just hang out or whatever. So, but Sharon, we don't want to hold you hostage. So, you know, you can stay or go or whatever it is.
Okay, I think I'm gonna go get some dinner for my people. So
There you go. There you go. I got to do the same soon.
okay. Well, thank you so much. I do appreciate everybody being here and all your wonderful questions. Thank you so much for your kind words. And I hope that I'll see you around in the Facebook group and maybe on the other lives. So
Definitely. Thank you.
bye, everybody. Thank you so much.
I'll hang out for a bit, Christy, if you gotta go, but I'm probably gonna grab myself some food and eat it off camera if anybody wants to still hang out and just make stuff.
I'm still working on my, a journal here, so I can.
I'm like, I'm making things. I'm like,
I know, I'm making stuff. I didn't get to make stuff yesterday really because I was like, we were busy doing customer service. There's a lot less of that today, so
yeah, it looks like
I
most.
am checking. Oh, let me stop. Do you want to stop recording?
Oh, yeah, let me stop recording.
Yeah.
Thank you.